If you flew a sign, what would your sign say? What moves would you make? Would you lock down an intersection and work it all day? Knowing sharks in those waters are plotting on taking it away. That current's fast, or at least that's what they say. If you flew a sign, what would your sign say? Look at you, tucked away in your cozy little cubicle, oblivious to the trap door you lay lazy on. There will be no liaison on to go between classes. There wasn't when you were in junior high. Keep thinking that floor won't sink, that there's no way it could happen to me. Just ask yourself right now, right off the top of your head, when you hear this question, do you have an intersection in mind? If the bottom did fall, all ships sink. You guys, y'all seen Jack, we all gotta pay. Keep thinking it can happen any second, you can sink to the bottom. Y'all seen roll. If you flew a sign, what would your sign say? What moves would you make? Would you lock down an intersection and work it all day? Knowing sharks in those waters are plotting on taking it away. That current's fast, or at least that's what they say. If you flew a sign, what would your sign say? Stop and think. Do you have an intersection in mind? Remember you have 3 kids. Oh, you're still acting like a kid, thinking it won't happen to you. See that man flying that sign 2 years ago? You could've asked him the same question, he would've denied it. What would your sign say? God bless you, thank you, anything will help. It's amazing how they standing on the corner. God has evidently left the scene. You see on their side what it says, they all give praise back to the King. Loyalty, what would your sign say? Would you thank Jesus and be standing on the corner hungry? What would your sign say? I will work for food, but deep down inside their souls feel like fools. Classmates drive by, people way younger. Do you think those people wanted to be there? What would your sign say? I got kids, they're hungry. What would your sign say? Classes can be switched so quick, y'all seen Jack. How would you approach it? Swallow your pride in the blistering heat all day? Could you keep your head above water? Could you float? Y'all seen Rose, Tupac Shakur seen one growing through a crack in the concrete. Stay humble. What would your sign say? If you flew a sign, what would your sign say? What moves would you make? Would you lock down an intersection and work it all day? Knowing sharks in those waters are plotting on taking it away. That current's fast, or at least that's what they say. If you flew a sign, what would your sign say? If you flew a sign, what would your sign say? If you flew a sign, what would your sign say? Anything will help. Thank you, God bless you. You're just a sneeze away from moving meters away from what used to be the start of your road into your cozy little cul-de-sac 4-bedroom home. I guess you could say you're not that far from home. What would your sign say? I'm falling on hard times, please spare your change. People lose all hope and think they can't change, and come around a rich society like they are the same. Y'all seen Jack? Humility will be the greatest attribute. It will show you that you could do things that you wouldn't normally do. Y'all seen Rose? Have you thought of what your sign would say? You don't have a lot of cardboard and the ink is just about on this Sharpie. So whatever you write down will be the tool that you hustle with. Cause believe it or not, this rule is still true. First impressions are everything, even on a sign that you're flying. Even the second hand plays a part. I can hear you now. First off, I wouldn't be there. Okay, let's walk across the street and see what a sign says, and then ask her if she has ever heard of Jack and Rose. What would your sign say? If you flew a sign, knowing sharks in those waters are plotting on taking it away. That current's fast, or at least that's what they say. If you flew a sign, what would your sign say? I can't lie, the sign that always got the most for me was the sign that did not lie. I need a beer, she just was a leader at the red round table, and all she thinks about is blowing her baby a kiss. I wanna get high, they wanna leave this shocking reality. If you look at the back of the sign, you will see where they scribbled out. It wasn't too sure on what the sign would say. By the 3rd day, they had 5 signs, depending on the time of the day. Stay humble, be grateful that there has not been a little rumble. What would your sign say? Cause escaping a reality is way more important. What would your sign say? Y'all seen Jack, y'all seen Rose.